Well, back on the presidential campaign, Heather Humphreys' day of canvassing ended in Howth, not far from here, where she also picked up the endorsement of local Fianna Fáil TD, Housing Minister Darragh O'Brien. Earlier, she criticised her opponent in this contest over her views on the European Union. Conor Hunt spent the day with the Humphreys campaign.
Thank you. With no time to waste, it was a canvass in D4's Donnybrook for Heather Humphreys this morning.
I'm Heather.
They say presidential campaigns are primarily fought on the airwaves, but candidates keen too to look the voters in the eyes and leave a good impression.
Yeah, no, I think she's doing well. I think obviously she's in difficulty in terms of the polls, but as we know, it's always the last week. Maybe a lot of people undecided, so hopefully she'll have a strong last week.
I think Heather's a terrific candidate. I think very, very strong track record in government and representing her constituency.
Oh, I love a song.
Heather Humphreys then dropped in on choir practice in St Patrick's Cathedral. The issues in this campaign also now well rehearsed, it seems, as the final stretch comes into sight. The indications suggest that Heather Humphreys is trailing in this contest. The question is, can she make up any lost ground in the last week? Later, buoyed up by her supporters, she doubled down on her pro-EU credentials, taking several swipes at her opponent in the process. She also said with days to go in this contest, her strategy will remain the same.
Yeah, well, I think the campaign is going extremely well. I'm out and about, I'm meeting people. People are stopping me in the street and they're saying to me, Heather, you've got to win. The centre must hold. I'm asking the people in Fianna Fáil to please lend me their vote.
It was in the seaside village of Howth where her canvass ended this evening, where, as well as a bag of chips,
they're very good.
They are very nice. Would you like one?
She picked up support from a serving Fianna Fáil minister. Humphreys' hustings continue. Conor Hunt, RTE News.
Well, I'm joined now by presidential candidate Heather Humphreys. Thank you for coming to speak to us on 6-1. You've had a busy day and I suppose a week out from going to the polls. People want to know what kind of a president you're going to be. So can you tell me what type of qualities you have that will inspire pride in the office of president?
Yeah, well, thank you, Sharon. I am a common sense experienced person, and that's what I will bring to the role of president. I didn't think I'd be standing here this evening, a week out from the election, with just two candidates in the field. But I think I'm like the vast majority of hard-working Irish people. I'm in the middle ground. I'm not to the far left, I'm not to the far right, I'm in the centre. So I'm asking the people at home this evening to please put their trust in me next Friday, and I promise I won't let them down, and I will never let this country down.
Can I ask you, have we seen the real Heather Humphreys during this campaign, or are we seeing the presidential former minister out on the canvas?
No, I think you're seeing the real Heather Humphreys, and I've had good fun. I've been out chatting to people and I really have enjoyed it. I'm chatting to young people, they're coming up, they're saying hello to me, and I met some school children today and it was lovely to have the chat with them. So I believe you're seeing me as a mother, a grandmother. I'm a former credit union manager, so I do know the challenges as people face in their day-to-day lives, and I've spent 10 years as a government minister, so I bring a lot of experience to the job.
And just on that, you've just mentioned there, you've spent 10 years as a government minister, you are the Fine Gael candidate, you've also been endorsed by many in Fianna Fáil, Darragh O'Brien today, and also the Taoiseach. Why do you believe people, or why do you think people should elect an establishment candidate to go to the Oireas? Because we have a government and often people want to see a bit of balance there. They want someone who's going to speak out if it needs to be done. Yeah, well, I believe I'm a very experienced candidate and I will speak out, and I've never been found wanting. Even if it's against government policy? Yeah, well, I will speak out. When I feel it's right, I will always speak out, but I'll always use that special position that the President has to speak to the Taoiseach of the day every 6 or 7 weeks, whenever it is, and you can do that privately.
But I want to speak out for older people, and I've always helped older people during my time as Minister for Social Protection in increasing payments, in bringing in the companion pass and a number of other initiatives.
You're appealing probably to the people who are going to go out and vote there. What about younger people? What about younger people who can't get a house in this country? And you served in the government that has led to this situation.
Yeah, well, I understand it's a terrible situation where people can't get a house, and I do understand that they're putting life decisions on hold. But can I say, when I came into government, the construction sector was absolutely decimated, and there has been an increase in the number of houses, but the problem is there's not enough. We need more houses. But am I glad I went into government? Yes, I am, because I was able to affect change in my departments that I was Minister in charge of. I was able to
at the
roll
same time,
out,
when you came into government in 2011, when you became a TD, there were 1,600 people in emergency accommodation. Today, in 2025, there are 16,000 in emergency accommodation. That's your record in government.
Yeah, but as I say, did we get everything right? No, we didn't. But I stepped up.
That's a disaster, though, isn't it?
But I did step up to the plate, and you know, it's easier to sit back and do nothing, but I didn't. I stepped up to the plate. I made decisions, and of course we need more houses, absolutely. And what can I say? Only that in the departments I was in, I really did my best. I brought in the hot school meals programme for the children, and I'm proud of that. I brought in auto enrolment, which is a pension scheme for the 800,000 people that don't have it. I brought in a number of other measures, and I also headed up the 2016 commemorations, and that was a wonderful time when I brought people together. I took it out of politics, I brought it into the community. I want to support communities as president. I want to recognise the work of the volunteers, whether it's in the Tidy Towns, the GAA Club, or many other voluntary organisations, and I think it's important we shouldn't take them for granted. I also want to reach out the hand of friendship to Northern Ireland. I want to bring people together, both.
You're saying you want to be a president for all. That's your slogan.
Yes.
That's what's on your posters. But the poll yesterday in the Irish Times suggested that nearly half of people feel that neither candidate in this race represents them, and they would like to have had more choice, and perhaps they would have liked somebody on the Conservative side of things, somebody like Maria Steen. How do you, as somebody who campaigned for abortion and the two failed referendums on family and care, how do you appeal to those people? And more importantly, how would you represent them if you were president?
Well, I will represent everybody if I am president, and I'm asking people to put their trust in me. I'm saying to them, I'm a middle ground person. I'm a centrist. I am pro-European, and I won't let this country down, and I will represent this country on the international stage, both culturally, both diplomatically. We need to hold on to our diplomacy. That's one of our greatest strengths in this country. I will protect that, and I will protect our constitution, but I will never be afraid to speak up for anybody.
Can you give me an example of when you have spoken up, perhaps against government policy?
Well, I had to work. I was a minister for many years, and I spoke up at Cabinet on many different issues.
What would you speak up on now?
Yeah, well, I would speak up for older people, most definitely, because sometimes they don't feel that they've been listened to. I met with Alone yesterday, and there are many challenges out there at different stages of ageing, whether if it's a different challenge at 70 than it is at 80 or 85 or 90. So I would speak up for old people.
And you mentioned that. Can I ask you, you became the Fine Gael candidate because Mairead McGuinness said she wasn't going to run for personal reasons. But you had retired. Do you really want to be in this race at all? Because some people would say that your campaign has lacked energy.
No, my campaign is actually full of energy, and I can tell you I got a good rest when I spent 10 years as a cabinet minister, and I felt I had given it everything. So it was time to let new ideas and fresh blood to come in. The role of president is a different role. Do
you think it's a handy number then?
Oh, I certainly don't. I certainly don't. And I would never take a job on except I would give it 100%. Now, if I am fortunate enough to be elected, I commit to working extremely hard on behalf of the people of Ireland.
Okay. Well, Heather Humphreys, thank you for joining us, and we will find out next week